friends. Today we are going to discuss break and continue statements in C language. Today we are going to learn break and continue statement in C language. Now, when we are thinking about that particular break statement is nothing but the statement ends the loop immediately when it is encountered. Now, in general, when we are giving a semicolon, that is what a end of a statement, and when we are giving a closing curly braces, that is the end of that particular opening and closing curly braces that are used for a limitation to that particular variables, to that particular, we can say that member functions, whatever the syntax that you have written inside the main function. For that, it is a one kind of a terminating statements, that is a closing curly braces. Along with that, we are we are having a break statements that ends the loop immediately when it is encountered. It means that when it is executed, the syntax of that particular break statement is just to use a break and semicolon. That it also means that it is a stop. After that, there is no execution. That's why it says that it stops loop immediately. The break statement is almost always used with if else statement. As we know that the if else statements is the one in which when the condition is true, the if statement is executed. When the condition is false, the else part will be executed. So that the break statement is mostly used, or almost it is used in a if else statement or with if else statement inside a particular loop. In C, break is also used with the switch statement. When we discuss that, switch statement is also the one kind of a statement that we will discuss later. But before that, we are going to discuss how the break statements that invokes or it will executes. We are having some code in which we are having a while part, while test expression is all about the condition checking. Then if condition to break, only a single if statement is there, then we can use also the break statement. It will break that particular part, that is a stopping for the execution. Then in do while or do part, if there is a condition to break, that means we are using a if statement. We can also use the particular break. Then for statement, inside there is a if, again we can use the particular break statement. So that is all about the theoretical concepts related to the break statement. We will move further for the execution with a one example of a one particular program. Here we are having a one program which finds the sum. The aim of that particular program is to find the particular sum. Now, hash include stdio.h, that we are having a standard input output header file, integer main, integer I, double number. The double data type is just for to get a one particular fractional value more than the one float can take. We are using a for loop, I equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10, plus I. Here plus I indicates that pre-increment of I variable. Then printf enter a n, means that the number which is entered by the one particular user. Then scanf, when we are using a normal when we are using a normal variable as a float, if we are using that particular float, in that case we have to use over here only f. But when we are using the one particular double, we have to use lf, ampersand number. Then if the user enters a negative number, the loop ends. We have to use the particular break statement. Break is a stopping one which stops the loop for the execution. So for that, we are giving a one particular condition that if there is a number entered by a user is negative, then it will stop the execution and it will immediately uh, break that particular loop and it will come outward from that particular loop. So we put over here condition if number less than 0.0 point 0, that means negative number. If there is a encountered, the number encountered or the number user by the number entered by the user is negative, then it will check that particular condition. -1 less than 0.0 condition not -1 less than 0.0 condition satisfies, and it will just come to the break and it will stop the particular execution. Now when we are talking about that, the program is about to print the particular sum equal to number, sum plus equal to number, that is nothing but the sum equal to sum plus number. So whenever we are entering the number, it will add it to the sum. The initial value of sum is 0.0. So we are adding the particular number with that 0.0, and eventually the sum value will be getting incremented with the value of number, and because of that we will get the one particular solution. That means we just have to execute that particular program in a one particular online execution, where we have that particular program. We will try to execute that with the help of an online compiler. Here it says enter first number, so we enter 4.5. 4.5. Again there is a n2, 2.5. Then there is a 1. If we can also use a integer number, but the double if it is given, then it can accept the integer float as well, as because 1 is also carried as 1.0. Then we entered -2.3. So it will stop the one particular execution and it will give you the particular addition, that is sum equal to 8. 2.5, 4.5, that is 5, 6, 7, 8. So negative value which we are having this 2.3, that is not added or subtracted into that particular sum. So the basic execution of that particular program is to get the access or to get the exact, to know the exact role of a break statement. So this break statement stops the execution of that particular if loop once the negative value is encountered. Now we are moving towards the next statement, that is continue statement. You can observe in your screen that continuous statement skips the current iteration. Iteration means a one particular looping structure. The continue statement skips the current iteration of the loop and continue with a next iteration. Its syntax is continue. The particular syntax is a continue, like a break. Here we are using a same name of that particular statement as a continue. The continue statement is almost always used with the if else statement. In case of break statement, we observe that break statement is used for the if else as well as a switch, but the continue statement is only used in or used with if else statement. So continue statement does what exactly? It skips the current iteration of the loop and continues with the next iteration that we are going to be discuss in this particular syntax. The syntax is somewhat same, but their result that will be the different than that of the break statement, because break stops immediately, whereas continue stops a current execution of a one particular loop, but it will execute the next loop as well. So here we are using the while, then do while, and for. but it is correlated, or it is with, or it is written with a if statement or if else statement. So again we are having a one particular program. That program is also giving the same kind of a result with the help of a continue statement. So we will see that how it will execute in the execution panel. We can choose any program for the execution. Before that, we will see header file is used, main function is used, variables are used, then for loop is used, printf, scanf. Only the difference is that here we use the continue rather than in previous program we use the break statement. The rest of the part is similar. Now we will try to execute that particular program to get the sum where the n value is entered by the user. Here we enter the 2.5. Here we entered 2.5, then 5.5, then 1.0, then 2, then -3. Enter. So what happened in last break statement? Once you enter the -3 or minus any value, it will stop the execution and use the sum. But here, it will give the next execution that the particular program can execute. The particular program can execute the if statement when it gets minus sign. When there is an encounter the minus sign, still it will execute and it will give the sum of that particular program. So this is all about the break and continue statement. Both the statements are terminating statements. One terminates completely that particular loop, immediately terminates the one loop, that is a break statement, whereas a continue statement, it will skip the current iteration but it will execute the later next iterations or next loops that will be executed.